giving them plenty of time.
Hey guys, what is up? Hope you're having a great day. Welcome back to another episode in my course vlog series. Today I'll be showcasing the back nine at GLEN IVY Golf Club in Corona, California. So the 10th hole here is a 541 yard par 5 down the hill, very similar to the first hole. So this hole is playing into the wind, so hit it pretty well. It's got caught up in the wind a little bit. Probably one of my better drives of the day. So I have 224 yards into the green, hitting a 5-iron and really trying to flight it low. You can see my fault is going to be a little different here. I really try to hold this one off and fly it down below the wind. Because you guys know me, I do have a very high ball flight, especially with my long irons. So hit this one pretty well, just pulled it a touch left, so it did end up just a touch short and left of the screen. Not in a terrible spot though. If you guys watch the front nine, you'll know I buried both par 5s on the front. So trying to keep that streak going on the back nine. So 18 yards for my third shot. And unfortunately my club just slid right underneath this. Taking practice swings, I thought this ball was sitting down in the grass. And unfortunately it was sitting up a little bit more than I thought it was. So 18 feet here for my birdie. Trying to keep the birdie on all the par 5 streak alive. Especially with the next par 5 coming up being only 500 yards. And I just missed this one. The ball did hit a bump. And I'll go ahead and tap in for par. So not a bad way to start off the back nine, but I was a little disappointed not having that streak anymore. So now on to the 11th hole, 320 yards, par 4. There is water about 250 yards off this tee. Kind of runs up by the green. So I'm just thinking 2-iron here, trying to keep it outright. And unfortunately, I was not hitting my 2-iron very well today. Just for some reason, it was one of the few clubs I could not hit today. So I did chunk this one, but fortunately, this is a very short hole. So it would only have a pitching wedge into the green. So second shot, 134 yards into a back pin location. And you can see how dry this course is from my lie. I thought I hit this well, but my club just bounced off the dry ground, and that ball did come up just a bit short, and once again another over dramatic club drop. Gotta get better at respecting my clubs a little bit more. So I have a 54 footer here for birdie, and from this range I'm just trying to put it within 3 or 4 feet, give myself a chance at par. And this ball looked good the entire way and just snapped left at the end. So it's gonna be hard for you guys to see, but I will go ahead and tap this one in for my par to stay at even par through 11 holes. So after this next hole, starting on 13, I think this is where the course really becomes one of the best courses in the area. Gets up into the hills, and there's some really cool views and shots, especially the 18th hole. So now 12th hole, 370 yards. And the wind was off the right, so I'm really trying to kind of stay back on this one and hit a high draw and just nuke it. And I smoked this drive. Unfortunately, it just stayed right where I aimed. And there is OB over there, so I had to be very careful. I did end up finding the ball. If you guys are wondering where the pin is behind the tree just to my right. So I'm hitting a 54 degree, and I'm really trying to hit a low hook. And you guys won't be able to see where this ball ended up, but this was probably one of the best recovery shots I've hit in a long time, especially from a lie like that. So you can see, there's the tee box. Over there is where my tee shot ended up. And there's the green. So, fortunately my ball did stop just a foot short of the green. So I have a 20 footer here for birdie. I'm just off the green. And this is really weird. I've played this course a lot, and I just completely misread that. I totally thought that ball was going to break left, and it actually broke right. So, very weird misread on a course I've played so many times. We'll go ahead and tap in for par, though. So, heading on to the 13th hole, and the start of some of the coolest holes on the course. 13th hole is a very short par 5, only 500 yards, but it does play straight up the hill. So there's 2 bunkers on the left, and I'm trying to give this one just a rip. And that was probably the hardest I'd swung all day. And I just nuked it. Took it right over those bunkers and just took a lot off of this. I have 184 yards in. So that ball went almost 320 uphill. And it plays about 2 or 3 clubs uphill. So definitely one of my best swings in a while. The second shot with the 7-iron. Did just blew this one out to the right a little bit. That was my miss all day, was just kind of bleeding it out to the right. But I knew I wasn't going to be in a terrible spot if I ended up in the greenside bunker. Unfortunately, I did end up about 2 yards short of it. My ball was just sitting down in probably some of the thickest rough of the day. So really had nothing and had to play it safe and make sure I got it on the green. So it did come out a little hot, so it did end up a little past the pin. So now I have a 23-footer for birdie. And this was a really weird putt. This putt should have been really quick going down the hill and breaking a lot to my right. You can see my dad, he actually had a putt of about 30 feet and left it way short because it was a lot slower than he thought. And I did the exact same thing. I could not believe this putt ended up that short. So I now have 5 feet for my par. And once again, this putt was going to have a lot of break to it, and especially with the bumpy greens. I really was trying to not miss that, and it hit a bump and did miss. So that was a little annoying, being just short of this green too and walking off with a bogey. So now 14th hole, probably one of the cooler par 3s on the course. 219 yards though, over water. So I'm hitting a 5-iron here. And this pin was tucked on the back left behind those bunkers. So really an emphasis on just trying to get this ball on the green and give myself some chance. This ball did start at the right side of the green, trying to draw it back in. It did just stay straight though. And I actually didn't think this video recorded, so I was very happy to see that recorded. And you can see a look back at the tee. There's the green. And my ball did just end up in this bunker. Very unfortunate lie being up against the edge. So 17 yards for my second shot. And I've been in this bunker before, so I knew if I just carried this ball onto the green, especially with the way the greens were running today, I knew this ball was going to get pretty close. So, and the nice thing about this course is they have very nice pure sand. And I thought I made that. That ball just stopped a touch short. So, I was very happy to walk off this hole with a par. It is the 10th hardest, or it is the second hardest handicap hole. And for those of you who play a lot of golf, for a par 3 to be the second hardest hole on the course really means it's a difficult par 3. I think if there was a tournament here, like a junior tournament, this hole on average would definitely play over par. So here's a view from up top, and I just thought that was a funny sign. They do grow avocados up here, so if you get caught stealing one, it's 3 years in jail. So I thought that was pretty funny. So you can see how high up we are compared to everything else. And 15th hole. The last 4 holes are probably some of the coolest holes on the course. 326 yard par 4. And I'm just trying to rip this. My goal is to get this as close to the green as possible. And absolutely ripped it. Started up the right over the little pot bunkers and started to draw back. Really happy with that drive. Unfortunately, it did roll into one of the greenside bunkers. So 27 yards here, having to hit over the other greenside bunker. So, and yeah, I don't quite know what happened there. My club just slid and got caught in the sand and chunked it. So unfortunately, went from one bunker to the other. So now 17 yards. And that bunker I was just in had a lot of sand. So I'm playing this shot for the exact same thing. And this bunker had very little sand. Big difference. So this ball came out hot. It did have some spin on it. But it did definitely roll up further than I wanted it to. So now, 17-footer here for par. Putting back down the slope. Really trying to... I don't want to drop another shot. Because there's a couple tough holes coming up. So walking off the hole with a bogey was not going to be good. And that ball did just catch the upper edge of the cup and lip out. Seems like a very common theme in a lot of my videos. So unfortunately, I will tap that one for par. So a very disappointing, for bogey. So a very disappointing bogey after almost driving the green.
All right, I gotta run.
So 16th hole, par 4, 434 yards, big dogleg right. And the cool thing about this hole is you can actually cut off a lot and actually drive the green here. So I'm trying to take it over top of our cart. So if you get it on the correct line with enough distance, you're going to get down to the green. Unfortunately, this ball did start just a touch left of the cart, so I am going to miss the speed slot. But, I mean, I hit this hard. If it's maybe, I don't know, 10 yards to the right, it's perfect. You can see there's the view of the tee box. And this is from the center of the fairway, and you can see there's the green. I'll show you guys the speed slot in a second after I hit my second shot. So only 74 yards here for my second shot down the hill. This is a 58-degree wedge. And I'm playing this ball to land on the front edge and release. So playing it for about a 70-yard shot. And it flew right where I wanted to and checked. So a little frustrating, but did leave myself a pretty makeable birdie. So you can see the speed slot there. If you can take it over that tree, it runs down, and worst case scenario, you're just short left, or you can even get on the green. I've driven this green a couple times from the blue tees, not the blacks. So 17 footer here for birdie, and I pulled it. I thought this ball hit a bump, and it might have, but it never started on my line. So tap and par there. So not a bad par. This is actually the 14th hardest handicap hole, but I think this hole plays a lot harder. So on to 17, par 3, 207 yards. And this is probably one of the coolest par 3s, and it really looks cool on camera. You're back in one of the little valleys, and just a really cool hole. So this is the 6 iron, and I did just catch it off the toe with the pin being all the way in the back. So it did get on the green, but actually I might have honestly been better if this ball had missed the green. Because now I have a 60-footer here for my birdie with a big ridge I have to deal with about 20 feet ahead of me. So you're going to see I have to start this ball pretty far right and hit it pretty hard. And this ball looked like it was good. It just broke a little bit more and had a little bit too much pace on it. So did leave myself about 5 feet for par. And 5 feet from having a 60-footer, then going to 5 feet isn't terrible. But with the greens not rolling great, it was definitely a bit of a tester. So here I go, I putt for a par. And that just hit a bump right off the club. I got very annoyed with that. I mean, nothing I can do about that there. So, did tap in for bogey. So, here on 18. And this is a 200-foot drop-off to the fairway from the back tee box. So, I thought it'd be fun to hit 2 different shots here. My first shot is going to be a 3-wood. But then I thought I'd hit a driver just for fun to show you guys where that could end up. So, 18, 434 yards. I am hitting a 3-wood. And like I said, this is going to be my actual shot. And I'm going to hit one more just for fun with the driver to show you guys where that could have ended up. So I'm trying to take this ball kind of, right there. I didn't really have a good place to point out to you guys, though. And this threw it, I nuked it. And there is water out there, about 350. And this ball, I thought had a chance of going in the water. And it stopped only a couple yards short of that water. So I was very happy with the way I hit that. So now, here's the driver just for fun. And the reason I don't hit driver here normally is because where I'm going to land this is very narrow. But I thought, just for fun, might as well show you guys where this could end up. So, I hit that pretty well, and it just cut a little bit. And, to be honest, this actually did turn out better than my 3-wood. You guys will see where that ball ended up in a second, and a little frustrating when your for fun shot ends up better than your actual shot. So there's the tee box up there. There's my 3-wood shot, or my actual shot with the 3-wood right there. And then there's my driver out there in the fairway. You can see how narrow that is. So now 69 yards for my second shot with a 58-degree wedge. Pin is just over the water, so I'm not playing for that pin at all. I'm playing just a couple yards past it, and that's exactly what I did. A couple yards past it, a couple feet right. So now I have a very makeable birdie putt from about 15 feet. And once again, if you look up to my left over that bunker, you can see where the tee box is and just how steep of a drop off it is to the screen. Definitely one of the coolest holes in the area. So here's my putt for par, and it just didn't break. So I will go ahead and tap that one in for a par. So that will be a 36 on the front, 39 on the back nine for a 75 plus 3. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video.